of my presentation is on the definition of terms, then the importance of empowering youth for the future, understanding the potential of today's youth, the power of inclusion in unlocking youth potential, overcoming barrier. We'll look at overcoming barriers, then the talent itself, the creativity and innovation amongst the youth, then how we can encourage the youth in community and social, then the positive impact of youth empowerment on the society itself. Then we will conclude, and I hope I will be fast with that. Then definition of terms. Inclusion. This is just to give an overview of what we are going to dive into. Inclusion is an environment, basically, that embraces everybody, both diversity, and it includes respect for one person, valuing each other in the same community, and the diversity can include maybe the black, white, maybe whether it's old and young. And all of these things make up the inclusion because it's not just youth alone. When we want the inclusion, then include the people before us, the generations of today and the generations after us also. Then we talk about the youth inclusion. It is now the engagement, the involvement of this youth in every aspect of the society. It could be in decision making, it can be in policy or in programs related to each of these communities or societies. Then talent transformation. It is it's more of developing youth, knowing the knowledge gap between what the youth know now and what they should have known to make the world a better place. So the talent transformation is just checking the knowledge, the gap between the skill set of youth. So it is when we know the current knowledge and the gap between where we are supposed to be, that's when talent transformation can take place. And how can we help in this talent transformation? It could be through trainings. It could be through involving youth in so many aspects of the society's work. And this is just like a baseline of like an overview of what this topic of today means to us. Then we go into importance of youth and empowering youth for the future. For their fresh perspective, youth are an embodiment of perspective and innovations. What we don't have today is what we haven't, the opportunities that we haven't made youth to bring out. Because when we give youth the platform in the society, we see that they have so many of these innovations within them and waiting, and they are untapped, waiting to be tapped. Also, another importance of empowering youth is creating more inclusive society. How can we include the youth? If they are excluded in the society, how can a society be together or harness its power or harness its full potentials? It is recognizing the importance of youth empowerment will help to bring out all the aspects, harnessing all the potential from each of the communities, because from each of the and these communities are what makes up the society. So if we can harness each and every part of the community, then we can make up a good and a productive society. Then nurturing their talents. This is also a very powerful point when it comes to empowering the youth. How do you nurture youth talent? Maybe their fresh perspective is there, their innovative thinking is there. Then how do you make this talent come out? Like, how do you transform these talents? It could be through one, encouraging education. Education is important. Two is giving them the platform to showcase themselves. It might be through exhibitions, it might be through talent hunts, it might be any of these platforms that allow you to showcase who they are. And without them showcasing their talent you can't nurture a talent that you don't know. So it's when they showcase it that you can nurture it to where you want to be. Maybe that is where a society can get youth to be, or can get themselves to be where they want to be. That is when they know actually what they are aiming for. Then understanding the potentials of today's youth. I will just go fast because I don't have enough time. Then today's youth represent a powerful force for potential and possibilities. And how can we understand this potential? Like, what is it that when we see it in youth, then we understand that this is what we need in the youth. One is recognition of their unique perspective and experiences. We might not have 50 years experience, we might not have 30 years experience, but the experiences that we've had, because the world have changed a lot today. And what we have now wasn't what was obtainable in the years past. So we have been in the forefront. So allowing youth to show or recognition of those experiences in them, because they don't have the 50 years experience, doesn't mean that they don't have experience at all. These ones that we have now, they are so broad that when you recognize them in youth, it will go a long way to help in their inclusion. The passion for social justice and activism. So many youth, so many of them around the world are now rising up to speak for things that concerns them and their communities. They are getting up every day. Every day, new activists are coming up. They have the passion for it, and they have been in the forefront, and they will still be there. So when you see these things, we understand that youth have what it takes to actually be included in every aspect of the society. Then willingness to embrace new ideas. In all of these things that we do as youth, we are taking in new ideas. We are here today because we want new ideas. Maybe we want what has worked and what we can nurture and grow another thing out of it. So youth are always ready to embrace new ideas. So giving them, when you, how to understand the potential is when you see a youth that is ready to embrace new ideas. Then recognition of diversity. It could be in culture, socioeconomic, and education. I read forestry, you might have read economics, or you might have read health or something. But you see, in these spaces, we all have it together. We all have what to give to bring a society to a very good standpoint. So because I did not study economics doesn't mean that I cannot be included in an aspect of the society. It's all these diversities brings together in one unity, and that is when a community can prosper. Cultures, economics, socioeconomics, I could be black, you could be a white lady, but what brings us together? So many things today. We will not do it because I'm not from a particular race, then I don't know it. Inclusivity brings all of these. Then, if we can bring our perspective in that one table, then we see that we are helping each and every region. So it doesn't matter whether it is this or that. What matters is that we are in unity. And you could see it in everything, because when you attend all of these youth conferences, then you see youth from different parts of the world speaking for others. And that is what we need. That is when you understand the youth potential, when you see these things in them. The recognition of youth digital fluency. We are in the 21st century, the century of like technology has exploded in this our century, and it's still going beyond what we've seen. And youth have a lot of this. Youth use social media to advocate, to give their activism, and it is a very big, powerful platform, because some persons might not know the meaning, or don't know anything to do about a particular cause. They see it on social media when there is a peaceful protest, or when there is a youth talking to government. It motivates others to actually stand up for themselves. And that is how you know that a youth, like when they are ready when you want to understand youth uh, potentials, these are few of the points that you should look at, or we should look at in this world of today. Then we go into the power of inclusion. The power of inclusion and in unlocking youth potential. One is when they feel included. When youth feel included, they unleash their full potentials. Yeah, they cannot unleash their full potential when they don't feel included. When a youth feel among, like I am being listened to, my voice is being heard, then you see them going beyond themselves to do what they want to do for the community. Then inclusion plays a role in ensuring that young people from all backgrounds, regardless of race, gender, and socioeconomic status or abilities, have the same access to opportunities, giving youth the same access. That there are so many ways that we can give youth access in the societies, and we need to look beyond some things to be able to see these potentials in youth. These are the power that it holds. Then breaking down barriers and providing equal access to education. It is very, very important. Education is like the bedrock of every nation. And when the power of inclusion lies in education, it could be an informal, it could be a formal education, but it is very, very important. No youth should be excluded because that is where their power is. We can only talk about what we know, and to say what we know is through education. So these are just few of the points that highlight the power of inclusion. Then overcoming barriers in youth inclusion. So many young people face various obstacles, and there are so many of these barriers. So some of these barriers to youth inclusion include limited access to quality education. I think I've highlighted on this before. This is a very big problem if youth are not being educated. Just like I said, it could be informal, it could be formal education, but what is needed is that education occurs in every youth, and education should be quality education. And it is one of the SDG goals, meaning that they understand the importance of quality education for every youth. Because for us to make so much impact in the world, we need to know. And knowing comes from being taught. So in our different, how do I as a person do this? Like I go to schools. Anyhow you can contribute to this cause. You can go to secondary schools, primary schools, and start educating them because they are young people and they can take in this knowledge. You know, I have done the both sides of education, teaching the communities, like the older women, the men in the communities, and I've done the other part of teaching the young people in school. These two are so very important. But what is more important is that these young minds need to learn something better. Whether in every field of study that they are in, they need to understand that there is a place for them in the society to make social, to change the social system. It is for everybody. Then the social biases, we don't need to look at some preconceived notions. These things should be updated by now. The race, the gender, the ethnicity, the economic background, or whatsoever it is. We don't need it. What we need is the potential in the same youth. In those youth, that is the only thing we need. So we need to look beyond to see those potential in the youth. Though another barrier is economic disparity or lack of employment opportunities. When there are economic disparities in a community or in a society, and it leads lack of employment and all, you see youth, self-esteem is not there. The confidence is not there. As youths that we are, we should be able, or we are telling ourselves that we should create the job. I know it is the work of the government, but it is not just their sole work to do. We have a part to play. Maybe it is the work of also the workforce all over the world to do this. But we to have a part to play. We need to lay that part for ourselves. We need to go through uh, let's go for the wanting. We want it. We don't want we don't have to sit for it to come to us most times. So let's just go for it and we will get it. These are just some of the barriers to youth inclusion. But if we can look beyond these barriers, then we can make our societies a very good and a prosperous one. Then some of the ways to overcome these barriers is to invest in youth education and skills. Very, very important. In today's world, skill is very important because education is one, but knowing uh, uh, um, how to create jobs or how to do some things with your hand, because it is not skills is not all about creating a jobs anyway, creating jobs anyway. You can also work with your own skills. So investing in youth education and skill is so very important. How I have done this myself is through I organize boot camp for young people. And during this boot camp, they were trained in so many skills, just like the renewable energy. Some were taught through the practice, the upcycling. Then the other people went through uh, painting, like environmental acts, painting and drawing for the environment. These are one of the ways. And when you can inculcate or put these ideas in them, then you see them wanting to know more or do more. These are just the little way. Then there, and the other one is creating awareness, fostering empathy, and promoting diversity. We create awareness from in any form at all, whether it is social media or whether it is a word of mouth or whether it is just talking to your friends or your families. These are ways that we can create awareness about these barriers. Then government, organizations, and communities, everybody has a role to play when it comes to overcoming these barriers. Government has their role. The organizations have their role. Most of us here belong to one organization or the other. What do you use the organization to do? I know even one thing that every organization should prioritize in no matter what you do is going into the maybe communities, schools to talk about these things to them, because if they don't know, they don't know. If you can say it to them, then they will know it and the society will get better, because it's more like a ripple effect. Because when I know, I teach others, they know, and that is it. And then the third one is technology plays a critical role in overcoming barriers. Technology is very important. We are in the technological world, and how we use this technology is so important. And we have seen it over and over again what it can do. One of it is this AI is coming up now, the artificial intelligence, how it has changed so many workspace and work systems. So let's key into if we can key into this or make youth key in to these things, then we can overcome most of these barriers. Then we move on. Talent transformation, encouraging creativity. It is very important for personal growth of every of every individual and also the societies. The ways to foster this creativity is to create an environment that nurtures curiosity and exploration. Curiosity, it is very important. Okay, one way that I've seen this thing work so well is in the STEM, this science, technology, engineering, and maths. So many young people in school have, through this STEM learning or STEM education, they have gone, like they have thought outside the box. And that is what is very, very important. When it comes to environment, then it is STEM, like environment STEM. So we can use it just like an example. We need to create curiosity on them, because it's only curiosity when they are curious, when they want to know more, that more innovations can come in. Then the second one is provide access to technology and resources. What's the availability of these technologies to these students? Are you talking to them about maybe in a community that have not seen computer? Are you talking to them about the transformation, maybe software or website development, but they don't have it? Like they don't have the tools. How are they going to do it? If you have the means, provide access to technology and resources to them. Then create platforms to showcase talent and ideas. Some of these platforms, I think I mentioned it before. It could be through exhibitions, it could be through talent hunts, it could be enrolling in a competition, any competition at all. These are some of the platforms that can harness, because it is when you see them, when they perform, you see them, that you can know their strength in anything, and knowing the strength of each individual in a community. That is how a society can grow. Then encouraging youth engagement. How do we encourage youth engagement? Create platform. It's just like a repetition. We create a platform. We organize events and workshops, focus on social impact. Most of the
Excuse me,
organizations
Mr.
here
Marco.
believe that this is what we do. The mentorship programs, it plays a good role. Mentorship, youth need mentorship, and we need mentors for this youth, and we are the mentors. How well do you know yourself, and how well can you mentor others, the younger ones coming? Oh, maybe my time is coming. Engaging in community and social impact initiative not only benefits youth individual, but also has a ripple effect in the society. We've talked on this before. Then the positive impact of youth empowerment, cultivation of leadership skills. When youth are empowered, you see them owning up leadership positions. And
Excuse
this leadership position will be
me.
filled
I
so
don't know if
well
you can
that
hear
they
me.
can outdo so many things. So
I don't know if
these
you can hear
they foster a sense of self-belief and confidence. Very, very important, especially among the younger ones.
me.
We should make them believe in themselves. Because one thing that I've learned is not about, I can tell you, it is all behavioral. I can tell you about how the environment should be the best thing that you can look after. But if I don't put that thing in you that would make you see the environment like I see it,
Hello, hello, can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear
we
me? Okay, okay. I think she had a network glitch and it's already getting late. I don't know if you can see me. I'm quite dark in complexion. But you can hear me right now, right? Can you hear me?
yes, we can. Could you
Oh,
repeat what you said?
no, no, I just said I think she had a network glitch and I don't know if you can see me as clearly as you can hear me because I'm quite dark in complexion. But we should proceed. I was trying to call our attention due to our time management since it's 6:26 already here in Nigeria, but I didn't know she could not hear me. So maybe when she comes around, we would round up with her presentation. But before we proceed, we'll proceed towards the panel discussion because that's the next thing we have in line, the multi-stakeholder panel discussion. And proceeding, we would love to invite Biotimela Pauline Marumo to the. I don't know if she's around.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
around.
Thank you so much. She's from Botswana. I'm so happy to see someone from Botswana. Well, I'll be asking her a question to lead on with the panel discussion. The question is this: Marumo, youths have been instrumental in climate activism, which is obviously felt even here in West Africa. And so we would love to know how can we encourage and support youth-led climate movements while ensuring they are involved in policy development and implementation. So I don't know if you got my question.
I got your question, yes.
Right, thank you so much. You can answer.
Okay. Okay. First, I want to make sure that you are able to hear me properly. Is my voice loud enough?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So again, my name is Buitumelo Pauline Marumo, and I work for the Botswana Climate Change Network in communications and advocacy. So I'm going to answer this question in two parts. One, I'm just going to touch quickly on what can be done. But after being in the webinar, after being in this summit for the whole day, I've seen that most of the points have been covered. My former colleagues, the other colleagues have already gone through what can be done to accelerate the role of youth in climate action and also policy implementation in our countries respectively. The second part, I'm going to narrate a little bit of my story as well in the world of climate advocacy. So let me just quickly run through them in the interest of time, as I can see that we're about 15 minutes behind already. So one, I think that youth climate movement. They lack a lot of resources, they lack finances, and they lack the logistical needs for them to be successful. So what governments or institutions, the private sector and foundations, what they can do is that they can avail support for youth-led initiatives through things such as trainings, research projects, public awareness campaigns, etc., and so on. So secondly, governments and other decision-making bodies, they can create sort of formal and informal spaces for youth to be able to participate in climate policy development and implementation. This can include things like establishing youth councils, either at community level or at national level, holding youth consultations, especially at community level and also at higher decision-making level, and providing the youth with opportunities to serve on committees and task forces. The third thing is to support young leaders who are passionate about climate action. So this can be done by providing them with mentorship, training, networking opportunities in order to help them to enhance their skills and their knowledge in the different areas that they'll be focused on. And lastly, like policymakers and decision makers, they should listen to the perspectives of young people. I feel like sometimes we are placed in rooms, but we're not really listened to, if I can put it in that way. We have unique insights and we have unique perspectives that can help to inform climate policy and also to ensure that it is effective and equitable. Granted, in most of our countries, some of these mechanisms, they are already in place, they're already existing, but the issue comes to equity, the issue comes to accessibility to some of these things. There are many youth-led organizations which are working in climate change. I'm sure they are there in West Africa and Southern Africa as well, and all over the world. So these organizations are doing really important work to raise awareness, for advocacy, to advocate for change, let me say, and to implement climate solutions in their own right. So this can be supported by, let's say, money donations, to be honest, like I've talked about finances already. Volunteering your time where possible. This includes also support from experts that some young people may not otherwise be able to afford, and spreading the word about their work. A simple share goes a long way on social media. And the third thing is, like, when we have power in numbers as young people, and especially when it comes to Africa, where we are possibly the largest demographic or already the largest demographic in the continent. So what we should do is that we should hold our leaders accountable. We have to be able to know that we can be able to talk to them, we can be able to call them, and also to see how they can include like young people in climate policy development and also implementation. We can encourage them to sort of create opportunities for young people to participate in decision making, and also to listen to the perspectives of young people when they go in their rallies and when they go on creating their manifestos and eventually be elected into power. So moving on to my second part of this answer, this will basically lay out the trainings that I've gone through, some of them, the programs that I've gone through, and some of the fellowships that I've been a part of, which eventually lead to supporting of youth-led climate action. So I started my climate advocacy exactly a year ago, well, a year and a month ago, in September of 2022, 2023 now. So I started by trainings, online trainings, as many as I can. I remember I started with the L'Oreal one, but this one is more focusedly on women. It introduces you to the basics of the climate change thematic areas, and you are able to also just get some sort of self-introspection into what you're about to walk into. It prepares you for some of the challenges that you're going to face as you go along the way. The second most important one that I did was the UN sustainability courses. They are there online, they are free. If you're someone like me who has a business or HR background and you don't have environmental background, this will be a great way for you to be able to see how, especially in the African context, we can use our natural ecosystems for adaptation. Let me say ecosystem-based adaptation, or and also locally led adaptation, things which are relevant to your community and where you are. And then as we went on, for us young people anyway, to be able to get enough traction to influence and participate in policy development, we have to put ourselves out there. One of the things that I did is try to keep up with what's happening in all the relevant departments in your country. Either is it energy, is it transport, is it agriculture, is it the environmental department? You have to know what they're doing, what meetings they have, which ones are open to the public that you can be a part of, where you can be able to ask questions, where you can be able to make comments, and where you can be able to meet some of the people who eventually are the ones who end up making policies in our countries. One major thing that I want to highlight is mid-year this year, I attended the Nairobi Summer School on Climate Justice. You can go search for it online, the way the name I said it. So after attending this, I had a deeper insight into climate change and climate action, climate policy. It was thereafter that I was able to attend meetings such as the workshop on energy legislation and strategies in Botswana. And that meeting is the one which was directly responsible for me eventually being invited to a meeting where the government was sort of updating our NDCs. So as you can see, it's like each action leads to the next. So the more you're prepared, and then the more you're able to contribute, but also contribute meaningfully, not just being there for the sake of that. Moving forward, let me just skip a few for the interest of time. There are also platforms like Yango. I'm sure most of us are familiar with that one. That is the official children and youth constituency of the UNCCC. So under Yango, you are able to, it's a free membership, by the way. So you are able to have access to so many opportunities. Is it trainings? Is it forums? Is it like opportunities to be able to review documents, to review statements, to contribute to statements, and to be part of like working groups. So it's very hands-on, it's very practical, and that is one of the little ways that you in your own little way contributes to eventually various policies around the world. And talking about Yango as well, they have the localized version of the Conference of Youth. So Botswana had its first one this year, which I was a part of organizing. So as part of the outputs, you're able to come up with statements, like a youth statement that you can sort of submit to your government.
Pauline. Excuse me, Pauline.
How much time do I have left? I'm at the end.
I think I'm a little exhausted the time already. So
2 minutes.
Well, we actually do not have time, but you can just round up the Thank you.
I'm at the end. Thank you. So you're able to submit those youth statements to your government, and they eventually trickle down to the biggest scheme of things. And at the end, I think what I want to say is that for us young people, we have such a reputation around the work that we do. And the other thing is that we're not going to simply be invited to the table. For us to be a part of the table, it's either we bring our own table by taking action and being seen and making sure that our contributions are making the right impacts in our communities. And through that, we cannot be ignored. And by preparation is key. The more you are prepared, the more that you are invited to these forums to be able to contribute to these policies. You are sure that you are coming not only in the right mindset, but you are coming with your statements in order, and you are coming with your message very clear and ambitious. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Marumo. Quite a detailed answer, I must say. Okay, well, before we proceed, I would love to point out that officially, the panel discussion was scheduled to hold under 35 minutes, but we have dug deep into our time. So when you are to answer a question, you can just hit the point directly. Another turn will come where you can express or further buttress or your responses or the responses of other people in the panel. Thank you so much, Marumo, for your answer. From what you said, I got a lot of insight. You pointed out each action leads to the next from your own personal experience, and that's what one of the essence of this week is, to learn from each other's experience in promoting growth in our respective fields for sustainability. So you said that each action leads to the next. That means you need to take a step first, then promote and continue growing as we move forward. So among the panel to answer another question which we have. So Rayham and June, I believe you're here. I've seen you. You've been active.
Yeah, hi.
So yeah, thank you so much. First, I will ask the question, then you introduce yourself and kick off with the answer. The question I have for you is this: how can we ensure that initiatives aimed at empowering and including youth in sustainability efforts are not just temporary, but lead to lasting impact and transformation? So you have the floor. If you heard me correctly, you can introduce yourself again. So
Thank
you have
you for the
just,
question.
you have just
And
2 minutes. Pardon me.
2 minutes?
Yeah, please pardon me. You have just 2 minutes.
Okay, okay. So thank you. I am delighted to be part of this important event, and I hope the contributions of everyone associated with the organization bear fruit. So going back to your question, I believe that consistency and long-term planning are paramount. But let's first just consider why investing in this important asset is imperative, and why do we tend to pin high hopes on youth. So it's pretty straightforward, because youth is everywhere. Half of the world population is youth, and they bear their right-bearing. They are the right-bearing citizens. They have the right to participate in decisions that affect them, and they bear the direct burden of the climate change, and their future very much depends on how climate change is addressed. So they are very much significant stakeholders in the discussions and actions that are related to climate change. Secondly, the older generations, they have failed them. Like the Secretary General of UN admitted in one of his speech at UN, and I quote, "Our generation has largely failed until now to preserve the planet, and your generation must make us accountable to make sure that we do not fail or we do not betray the future of humankind." So consequently, there is a sense that torch must pass down to the youth, who are seen as more innovative, more proactive, and committed to driving meaningful change. And then we also see in them an opportunity to harness their creativity, their passion, to finding some innovative solutions to the challenges at hand. And by arming these individuals, we also help them to get the ability to address sustainability issues. And by arming them, obviously the impact would be more protected and more far-reaching. So they are not just the current stakeholders, they are also the future leaders. So if we involve them in decision-making and policy-making, we ensure that the policies are shaped considering the long-term impact and sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rayham. I hope I got it correctly. Rayham.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
So because of want of time, we'll proceed immediately with Bismarck. Bismarck, can you say hi? Hello, hi. Bismarck. Okay. Thank you so much. So, Bismarck, would love you to share your view on what ways the public and private sectors can collaborate to create more opportunities for youth to engage in sustainable practices and innovations, especially in industries traditionally considered as less eco-friendly.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Once again, my name is Bismarck Popong from Ghana, the founder of Restoration Ghana, and we've been doing a lot of youth engagement and youth conferences to enlighten the youth about climate literacy, climate action, and what they can do in the space. I mean, where they can find themselves and operate fully. Okay, so if I'm jumping straight into your question, private-public partnership. Yes, this collaboration is a strong collaboration that we need in the space of climate, especially towards the initiatives of the youth, and to bring out the potentials of this youth. We need support from public and then private, sector to come together to help and then make the youth, improve in their skills when it comes to the climate space. So firstly, I'll talk about private partnership giving us funding or giving us grants on youth initiatives, that youth develop. So they should support us in that way. Let us have a lot of funds coming from these bodies, create that enabling environment for youth, to operate, support our initiatives, being it organization initiative or green entrepreneurship initiative or anything in the climate space that any youth is doing. And these bodies can, collaborate and then come together and support in terms of funding and grant. The next thing I will talk about is education and training. These bodies, again, public-private partnership, should create an enabling environment for youth for their voices to be heard, and also to be educated and trained onto some of these green spaces that we have, like green entrepreneurship, like climate literacy. So in as much as we want to act as youth, we want to be in a space of doing something, I would say over 60 to 70, 80% of the youth don't have that knowledge, don't have that skills, to actually operationalize fully in the climate space. So like my sister mentioned, Bayo from Botswana, she said she went to school of, oh my God. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Bismarck, can you hear me?
Yes, so as I was saying.
Can you hear me, Bismarck? Okay, you can round up since 2 minutes was allotted for everyone. So,
okay, all right.
Proceed
Yes.
what you're saying.
Okay, yeah. So you need that platform to learn, to actually what you are doing, and probably the thematic area that you can fully operationalize. The last thing I would like to talk about is private public partnership should also create research and development platform for the youth to champion it and also come out with innovative solutions for the less eco-friendly industries, as you mentioned. And so these are the 3 points that I'm going to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bismarck. Thank you for keeping to time, because time is of essence. So from your answers, I pointed out your reference to the education system and the provision of funding, provision of education. So if you were available in the last session 3, which I was privileged to moderate part of about education, the necessity for climate literacy, because you don't promote or raise awareness. We don't promote what you are not aware of. So education here is actually paramount. Proceeding, I don't know if other of our panelists are available. Sheikh Ahmed, primarily, yes, and I believe he's the only person. Are you Sheikh Ahmed? Is Sheikh Ahmed available? Xiaomin, are you okay? Okay. I think Sheikh Ahmed is not available. So in his absence, I think I will throw the question open for someone else who is available to answer. The question is this: how can we leverage digital technologies? Because obviously we all know we are in the digital world and everything is going digital. So how do we leverage digital technology and social media to amplify the voices of young sustainability advocates and promote their ideas and initiatives on a global scale? So if you have Xiaomin Key, you can equally contribute to if you have any response to that. Do you want to make a contribution or should I rephrase the question?
I can go ahead and answer the question. First of all, thank you to you for the great question, as well as the My Foundation for allowing me to speak on this platform. As a youth myself, I do utilize social media to contribute to spreading awareness about ocean conservation, water conservation, and various other topics in relation to those subjects. And in terms of leveraging digital technologies, I feel like what youth can do is definitely post about issues that are happening, repost issues that you see are happening, and just make sure that you continue to spread the word, utilizing the internet, utilizing your social media platforms, utilizing all these other platforms that you use online to make sure that people know about these really important topics. Delving more into kind of what I do with social media, I currently run an art account called Kiwi Creations, in which I post climate-related art and climate-related comics that are very digestible for youth to really understand. And so what I would really encourage is to post meaningful posts or meaningful announcements about what's happening. Use statistics, use information that you know, and make sure you're educated before you actually make these posts in order to make sure that a lot of these youth kind of understand, or a lot of people in general understand what the climate crisis really is about. In terms of other ways of leadership or just making sure that youth become available in terms of like stepping up to their platforms, right? I think seeking out opportunities is really important. Unfortunately, there are just a few opportunities available for youth. But of course, if you do research, if you look online, there are lots of youth councils. I'm personally a part of one that you can definitely apply to, definitely apply your knowledge to. And I think that's where youth can really stand out. But in general, definitely utilize social media, definitely continue to spread the word. And that's how you can leverage digital technology. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for such an outstanding response. I believe you did justice to the question. Basically, we've actually attended to the objective of this session, which is the unlocking the youth potential for inclusion and talent transformation. We had an amazing panel of stakeholders who gave in their own contributions and knowledge, shared their knowledge on the topic. So one of the primary objectives of this session is to provide a well-rounded view of the topic, which seeks to unlock youth potential for inclusion. Said in her last response, information about regarding the frame of advocacy. If you're advocating for education, you should continue putting it out there for people to see. This is an intersection of what each and every of the panelists has made mention of. You continue spreading, creating a chain of awareness, which you not just be of service to you, bringing you out more to advocate more, but will also influence your followers, if I may put it that way. So proceeding, we have just 6 minutes left into the close of the session. So we'll throw it up for an audience participation, which Key has actually led. So if the audience has any contributions to make or questions that they have pointed out to ask, if it regards seeking out these opportunities and the rest, you can signify, so you can make your own contributions. I'm checking through the chat to see. So if you have any, you can point it out. We just give a lot, say 4 minutes to that. Oh, Xiaomin, you're a part of the panelists. I didn't know. I didn't know your name. Apologies for that. Actually, Xiaomin Key is, if there are any other questions by the audience or the panelists that would love to react to other if you have anything to say, you can, or in the absence of that, we can invite our keynote presenter to, since she didn't get the privilege to round up, we can invite our keynote presenter to round up if she's available. Okay, yeah, she's not available. Is she available?
Oh yeah. Okay.
You can summarize.
We almost rounded up. Anyway, I'm sorry for that. The panelist has said everything and listened to all the contributions given, and those are the ways or what we can do to unlock. We are all youth, and we as youth will also recruit all youth to this social justice system, because if we all join hands together to do it, then we can unlock these things ourselves, the potentials ourselves. So we are calling on everybody today listening to us to let this be like a ripple effect to others around you, in your community, anywhere you are. In skill development, in training, encourage skill development to younger ones, encourage trainings to them, encourage them to read more, to learn more, because education is everything. In some contexts, they will say that education, school, okay, we have the term school is a scam. And I want to remove that. And I want us to go and remove that into the mind of every youth. School is not a scam. We will do a lot if we are educated. It's only an educated youth that can move mountains in the community in which that they belong. So we are calling on everybody today to be the youth, an active youth, engage in every aspect of the in your society, engage in every aspect of it. Anywhere you can go, any length that you can fit in for this social system to be where we want it to be. Please be involved, actively involved in the main word, active. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Loreto Bimbiki. That was an outstanding contribution. So pointing out something I learned from our first presentation, she talked about creating awareness as a way to overcome barriers in youth inclusion. So I just wanted to point that out because it seems as a point of intersection with every of the session we are promoting. I once met a friend for a climate justice alliance coalition that was held in Nigeria, and he was telling me of how he has made so much impact, how he's doing a lot of things advocating, but he doesn't even have a LinkedIn or a social media account. So it was so hard for him personally, he was telling me. So this points out the essence. It's not just for our personal use, but for others to see the change we are making and give us the opportunity to make more, to impute more, to learn more, to grow. Because we won't grow if we are not acting. And the opportunity to act more is when people see you, just like a business. If you're not advertising your business, you are basically limiting yourself. So it was an outstanding session, and I really appreciate everyone for staying till the end. Okay. I really appreciate everyone for staying to the end. I had a little glitch. So thank you. It's 6:59 and we are just a minute into the finish of our session. So in conclusion, we just spoke about the unlocking the youth potential for inclusion and talent transformation. I would advise that we all continue engaging with each other via social media. We can exchange our links and connect with each other on social media to keep the conversation flowing. Thank you so much, Xiaomin, for being present. Thank you, Reham. Thank you, Pauline Marumo. Thank you, Bismarck. And thank you, Ms. Machuku Loretta Obimdike, for being a part of this amazing session. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Also, you can wait for the next session. I believe there's a session 5, so you can hang around and learn from that session 2.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me? Hello, can everyone hear me? I'm not sure you can